Transformative Principal, episode 114, with Eric Heiser. Welcome to the Transformative Principal podcast, where we learn how to be an amazing educational leader. I am your host, Jethro Jones. Are you ready to be a transformative principal? I'm looking for about 10 people who are ready to do what it takes to lead with integrity, find balance, and take your school to the next level. If you're looking to improve your leadership in a measurable way, go to transformativeprincipal.org/mastermind to see if you qualify to join a group of like-minded people who are ready to be the best principals in the country. It's hiring season all across the country and time to dust off your interview questions. Go to transformativeprincipal.org to download 10 interview questions to find the best teachers. Welcome to Transformative Principal. I am very excited to have Eric Heiser with me. He is the Executive Director of the Sturgis Charter Public School, which is a non-selective IB for all public school in Hyannis, Massachusetts. Eric has held leadership positions in 4 American international schools that offer the International Baccalaureate. Eric has presented workshops on IB access, college readiness, redesigning the American high school at several regional, state, national, and international conferences. In addition, Eric is the president of the board of the Massachusetts Center for Charter Public School Excellence, a board member of the Massachusetts Charter Public School Association, and an international baccalaureate consultant and site visitor. Sturgis Charter Public School is ranked the number 1 school in Massachusetts and is number 36 in the nation. So I'm pretty excited to have Eric on the show. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming on. And is there anything else that I missed that you'd like to state about yourself?
No, that was fine. I'm excited to be here and to chat with you.
Well, great. I'm excited too. So I've had a little bit of experience working with international baccalaureate programs. The school district where I was an administrator first had a IB program at one high school and a middle years program at a middle school. And I was in the district office helping them work through the application and accreditation process on that. Can you talk a little bit about what IB is to get us started so that people know what you're focusing on?
The International Baccalaureate program has 4 separate programs, one called the Primary Years Program, which is basically U.S. grade levels, approximately K through 5, and then the Middle Years Program, which is grades 6 through 10, and then the Diploma program, which was the original International Baccalaureate program, the IB Diploma program, and that is grades 11 and 12 as far as U.S. grade levels. And then the career program, and that is a new program that's just started a few years ago, and it allows students who are in vocational technical kinds of programs to also earn an IB certificate. So the IB is a rigorous university preparation program, and I'm basically going to be speaking about the IB Diploma program, which our school has been doing since 2004. And the IB is a program that's taught around the world. And I'm not sure how many hundreds of thousands of students are involved, but it's quite an extensive program. And in my view, it's the best preparation for university available. So that's one of the reasons our school has decided to join the program about 12 or 13 years ago.
So tell me a little bit about what makes it the best preparation program for college. How is it different than like AP courses and things like that?
The IB program is a whole conception of a program. Basically, the IB Diploma asks students to do rigorous courses in 6 subjects, 3 at the higher level and 3 at the standard level. And many colleges and universities look at these, the rigor of these courses as being similar to advanced placement courses. And in addition to these rigorous courses, these 6 rigorous courses, there are 3 more additional requirements. The theory of knowledge course, basically how do we know what we know? And an extended essay of 12 to 15 pages and 4,000 words, an involvement in creative action and service activities that the students decide that they want to become involved in. So it's a whole broad, balanced preparation for university and for life, actually. And so it's rather than the concept of the AP program in most schools where students take individual courses, it's a more a full diploma program. And although students may opt for taking individual courses and not the full diploma program, the heart of the program is the IB diploma and the full program. So that's how it may differ from AP in some ways. Another way is that there's a variety of ways. I think the IB courses basically are assessed in that students gain points for what they know rather than losing points for what they don't know or don't get correct. And so there are very few multiple choice questions. There's only one small section of one exam. And so most of the assessment is via essay or oral performance. So the assessments are different for IB from advanced placement.
So I don't know if it's a misconception or not, but one of the ideas is that a IB diploma program is just focused on those who really are interested in taking that, whereas your school promotes IB for all. What does that mean? You said some kids can take just a few courses, but you're trying to get IB for all at your school. What does that mean?
So the way we define IB for all is we do not offer any non-IB courses in grades 11 and 12. So all students in 11th and 12th grade take all of their coursework in the IB, and that includes students with special needs. And even some students with special needs have earned their IB diploma. And everything that we do in 9th and 10th grade is IB prep. And so since all students are going to be going into the IB diploma program, we make sure that they're very well prepared with their coursework in grade 9 and 10. So the unusual part of that is, and I think our school got in on the ground floor of what might be called IB for all, is that all students do all their coursework in the IB diploma program, where most schools that have IB diploma programs, a limited number of students go into the program. And most schools, they have kind of selective prerequisites to allow students admission into the IB program, whereas we don't have any prerequisites whatsoever. So a student who got a D or 65 in history in 10th grade goes into the IB history course in grade 11 or either standard or higher level. We allow students to challenge themselves and to quite often we find that students kind of grow into their commitment to becoming, one of our phrases is becoming all that they can be. So that's how we look at it at IB for all, and the IB itself has really started to emphasize over the past several years opening access to all students to admission into the International Baccalaureate courses and the diploma program. So the IB actually is putting a lot of emphasis now on opening access. And so we've been doing it for the past 11 or 12 years. And so we host a lot of visitors from schools, usually somewhere between 20 and 30 school visits a year will we host. And then we do a lot of workshops for other schools too, and a variety of professional development presentations regarding access to maybe non-traditional or diverse learners in the IB program.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that approach of everybody takes it. There are no non-IB courses for grades 11 and 12. When I was working with that school district in doing a middle years program at the middle school, they were emphasizing that as well, that it's not just for some elite group of kids, but it's for everybody. And that school had a gifted and talented program within it where kids were bused from around the district to that school. And the middle years program's goal was to unify the two groups of students, the boundary students and the gifted and talented kids, by providing them all with a highly rigorous education, which I thought was very commendable. And the other thing I like about IB is that it seems to bring everybody in and is very inclusive of even special ed students in grades 11 and 12, which, making sure that they are given those challenges and given an opportunity to achieve at that level. And as you said, grow into their commitment is really an exciting thing. And I'm really pleased to hear you provide that.
We've been actively involved in the whole area of inclusive education, and one of our special ed coordinators was on the IB Worldwide Committee to develop a guide to inclusive education in the IB, and we have pretty extensive bit of information on our website about supporting special needs students in the IB program, and we have some video recordings of students being interviewed and that sort of thing, and also some documents on our website that describe the kinds of things that we're doing to support all students, including special needs students in the IB. And we also are involved in Skype conversations with schools about supporting special needs students in the IB, and some of those are schools here in the United States, and others are international schools from around the world. And so we've been pretty active in this whole area of helping schools understand how to support all students in the IB.
Yeah, that's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. And it's always good to see when schools are finding ways to bring students with special needs up, regardless of what those challenges may be. And it's just great that you're doing that. When you think about a typical high school and even your high school, what are the challenges that we face as a general public education entity about educating our students, and how can we improve that and make our high schools better than what they currently are?
Well, that's a big question.
Good.
So, I think we like to start off with, some guiding points and kind of a vision for that would then drive everything else. And so, of course, our mission is IB for all, but the other pieces of that, additional pieces to that mission, would be to help each student strive to maximize their own individual potential and to be the best they can be each and every day, each and every year. That's what we're hoping to help students do. And the other phrase that we use is student learning is why we're here. And so student learning should drive every decision that we make. How does this impact student learning? Is a question that we'll frequently ask, because it's student learning that is why schools exist. And we've started moving away from the term teach and started using the words create learning, because I think if one sees as an educator, a teacher or other type of educator, if one sees our role as the responsibility is creating learning in students rather than teaching, I think that puts the emphasis on the right place. And schools should be about the students and student learning, not about the adults in the building. And it's our job as adults in the building to create learning, to maximize student potential. And so those are the kind of the guiding principles that we use in our school. And so some of the other things that we talk about is the new 3 R's, getting away from the ancient history when I was in school of the 3 R's of reading, writing, arithmetic, and the rigor, relevance, and relationships. And we're able to have the external accountability with the IB, with all students preparing in all courses for the IB assessments. And so that there's a guiding endpoint that we're trying to get each student to realize their potential in each IB course, but also then helping each day, helping students understand what they're learning today and how it's relevant to their life. Because if students see that, why are we doing this? And what's the connection to me personally? They'll probably be much more motivated to follow through in learning it. And finally, relationships. We have 2 high schools of 400 students each, and they both are grades 9 through 12, and they both are IB for all. We could have built to one school for 800, but we felt that relationships would be enhanced to a great deal by being able to walk down the hallway and knowing something about each student, and asking our faculty to not only develop strong relationships within the class, but beyond class in the hallways, and helping students realize that our faculty are really, really interested in them as people, and helping them become all they can be. So those are some of the guiding principles that we use. And I think there's a lot of emphasis on curriculum and teaching and ways of creating learning. But I think sometimes schools don't realize the great, powerful, the impact that school culture can have on deep learning. So we also look at how we approach things, and everything that we do is very intentional to get back to striving for the most learning possible in each student. So, we try to make it not competitive. We don't do rank in class. We don't have National Honor Society. We don't have salutatorians and valedictorians. We try to make it all about a student and reaching their own personal potential, and not being about how I'm doing compared to the student sitting on either side of me. It's how am I doing compared to my potential. And I think if schools can get over the hump from making it so highly competitive, cutthroat competition for students to try to be number one in the class. Very few people are number one in the class, but there are a lot of very successful people that were all over the map in comparison to other students, but they're still very successful. So I think reaching your potential is what we need to preach to students and to help students realize.
So some of the prevailing conventional wisdom out there says that kids and high school students especially don't care about their own potential. How do you help them care? What do you do to make it so kids are the ones making those decisions?
Well, I think in some of those cases, I think students need a lot of support and guidance and counseling and developing relationships with adults in the building that care about them and can talk with them about who they are, where they are going with their lives, and helping them understand how they may be getting in their own way of being successful. And I think it's important to help kids understand that whatever they do in school may have an impact on their ability to be highly capable, functioning, effective adult in society. And I think helping students understand that they have a special place in contributing to the good of their local community and to the world. And so there's so many different kinds of programs and ways we attack that. I don't have time to go into a lot of detail here, but I think sometimes schools have built up traditions and events and different things that send messages that detract from the focus on student learning. And I think schools could be well served, but stepping back and thinking about, okay, how is this helping student learning? How is this getting in the way of student learning? What are the unintended consequences of doing things this way? I think sometimes we go along in a rut and do things the way we've always done them, and we don't ask ourselves on daily or hourly basis about different things that we've done. The three questions that we always ask: what went really well? What didn't go as well as we hoped or planned? And if we were going to do that over again, how would we do it in a different way to have an impact on student learning? But I would say that the other thing that I would share is that recruiting outstanding faculty is the most important thing that I do. I try to hire great people and stay out of the way, and ask a few questions around the edges. And I think it's the relationship between faculty and students is the most important thing about schools. It's not what the school building looks like, and what kind of beautiful mansion or palace a school is. It's more about the relationship between faculty and students that makes all the difference. And if the focus is on helping each student maximize their potential, then I think people understand why we exist and what direction we're trying to go.
That was a really great interview with Eric Heiser. He sounds like a fantastic leader that I hope you learned a lot from. Next week, we are going to talk about how he is still improving even when his school is doing great, and he's going to share some ideas about questions you can ask in the interview process. Transformative Principal is a proud member of the Education Podcast Network. Visit edupodcastnetwork.com to hear more great podcasts that will help you improve your teaching and leading.